Hello, everybody. When some of us decide to speak up based on the fact that we will always appreciate what Nigeria added onto us, has been seen wherever we travel to, people appreciate us as Nigerians, apart from the bad elements giving us bad names. And when we speak up, some of you who are still able to feed at least 1 square meal a day, some of you whose family members have never been kidnapped before, some of you whose kids will go to school and you will still receive them in the afternoon or evening, you will come out and tell us or ask us to direct our agitations towards the government, and that these elderly men who are shameless, who are wicked, who are bloodsuckers in religions, that they are not the government officials. Look at the picture that I cropped on this video. It's the one that alleges that in the news magazine, Mr. or Pastor or Prophet Dr. Tunde Bakare said on March 5th, 2021, that God showed him that Buhari will stabilize Nigeria. Today is March the 17th, 2026. And the country is in turmoil and ravaged by jihadist terrorists, kidnappers, and bandits. When you Christians want to argue, the reason why I avoid you as much as possible is because you're not only wicked, you're not only hypocrites, but worse still, you do not have understanding of what is written in that book. Because I remember that the biblical God made a pronouncement against the likes of Tunde Bakare, against the likes of Adeboye, Oyedepo, Kumuyi, Olukoya, that when they say, God says, God told me this, God told me that, and those things do not come to pass, those are the evidences to show that him as God has not called them. And how are these people our foundational problems in Nigeria? I will explain. It is only a useless, good-for-nothing, blood-sucking government that would feel that it is not its responsibility to provide security and safety, first and foremost, to life and properties anywhere in the world. And I am not hiding my face to say it. In the history of Nigeria, this is the worst that we have had. And your pastors have a hand in how this government has come to stay. And it is the responsibility of the citizens who are being killed like flies to protest. Tinubu himself protested before. He has said it in many papers. We saw it in many papers. There was even a paper that said Nigeria cannot hold together. The center cannot hold. Everybody should go their separate ways. But now, it is now a felony. It is now a treason offense to come out en masse to tell the government that what they are doing is not good. even though it is a visible problem, that we have terrorists on our soil who even go on live videos on TikTok. When Nigerians who are speaking up can easily be picked up by DSS, by the rogues and touts and criminals they call DSS, the police or what have you, that cannot trace bandits or terrorists to their dens. But they are not even my problems. I will make a reference to what Jonathan said in one interview that so many Nigerians have forgotten. That even the US sent a delegate the night before the election. What the delegate came to do, they did not know. And that the current party in power has a hand in how 240 something or whatsoever Chibok girls were being kidnapped in daylight in Nigeria. And today, there has been no solution to that problem. And look at where we are today. Which means that the same Cain, if Tinubu is now in government with APC, and they used insecurity the way Jonathan alleged, they used the issue of Chibok girls kidnap to chase him out of a power. Then we must also remember that newspaper picked it up that some government officials said that the presidency or whatsoever, they know how these people came into Nigeria. Because when you look at it, what does it take for Nigeria to empower our soldiers, the Navy officers, all of them, to go and combat these animals? So, which points to the fact that if this government knows how these terrorists have come to be planted in our nation, that the bloodshed is going to no stop at all, then why is it that Tinubu cannot order? What is it that they have against Tinubu? You people don't get it. And finally, when your pastors, when Nigerians are supposed to be on the street protesting that these killings must stop, your pastors will now come out and say, no, God told them that this will happen, and then people will go back and relax instead of asking for their constitutional rights, which no prayers can achieve or can get for them, unless you speak the language that the government of the day understands. And most of these countries that we run to, who told you that there were no protests, there were no bloodshed before they even became what they are today? That all of us are selling houses, land, properties. We can even sell our parents, we can sell siblings just to get visa to travel out. Lastly, Pastor Tunde Bakare, you must be ashamed of yourselves. Baba Adeboye, Kumuyi, Olukoya, all of you who once said God told you that Nigeria will be great, Nigeria will be this, naira against dollar, dollar against naira, whatever. All of you must be ashamed of yourselves. There is no God who has called you. You called yourselves. Because one of the major signs to know that God has called anybody is when that person says, God said this will be just like Elijah said, just like Elisha said. Then those things must come to pass. This is 2026. Since 2021, that same Buhari has even died. Nigerians who are still attending or referencing these wolves, these scammers on the altars. Some of us do not have any reason to talk, but because of the future of our children, because some of us really wish that we could come back home and live and dwell where our heart yearns for, we will keep talking. We will not be tired. Politicians, religious leaders are our foundational problems in Nigeria. And I say this without any apology. My name remains Rotimi Daniels. I say this, I retain my peace. Nonsense.